You know you've made a bad deal with Iran when even Fox News doesn't like it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Center Lane. The political discussion for those of us in the middle, compromise not a bad thing. Well, we have the agreement now with Iran. Everybody knows what the 14 points are. And even Fox News, many of the people on Fox News are not happy with this deal. And there's good reason for it. First off, the good part is that we're not shooting and bombing each other, so people aren't dying. And that, not to be dismissed, but why we did this in the first place, well, that's another conversation altogether. It doesn't make a lot of sense why we started it. But the thing now is, though, is Iran really has come out on top on this thing because they now are allowed to sell their oil anywhere in the world. They don't have to do discounted prices on the black market like they used to when they were under sanctions and before this war even started. So now they go, they're free to use the banking system. Within 60 days, there's a real good chance that they're going to start charging a fee to go through the Straits of Hormuz. That's as yet to be determined. The 14-point deal says nothing about their ballistic missiles. And yesterday, President Trump said, well, you know, Saudi Arabia has them, so if they're allowed to have them, I don't see why Iran can't have them too. And you see Marco Rubio standing behind him going like, because Saudi Arabia does have ballistic missiles, but they're not looking to launch nuclear warheads at their neighbors, man. That's why we don't want Iran to have them. That's why Israel doesn't want to have them. To sit there and be so nonchalant about it, well, that's just how the world works now, you know. So he also, Trump seems to be under the illusion that somehow that Iranians are going to be, not the people, I love the Iranian people, but the government stinks. We all know that there's theocracy, you know, is a hardcore, hardliners, you know, death to America type people. They're not going to use all this money and all this goodwill to help elevate their people. I mean, they'll take care of probably some social, regular electric, those types of things, basic goods for the populace. But look, just in last January, when there was an uprising, they killed 30,000 of their own people. That lets you know where their head's at, right? They're not changing all of a sudden because J.D. Vance says that they're going to be normal now and they're okay and everything's all right. We've changed them after 47 years. These people want to do one thing. They got a 47-year history of being anti-Israel, anti-America, and you know, and tied to their religion to the point of ridiculousness. And it's a twisted version of Islam. So, look, there's people in the Republican side. I'll just quote a couple of them. Senator Cassidy, excuse me, who has now been defeated or whatever. He's no longer, or is no longer be a senator after the next election. He said Ronald Reagan is rolling in his grave right now. Ted Cruz is just like disgusted with this whole thing. These are people that are normally, especially Ted Cruz, are normally on Trump's side and very MAGA, but they're just saying the part out loud that some of the other Republican people are afraid to say because they don't want to lose their position with Trump. They want to be in this orbit and or, you know, like a Rubio type. Like Rubio can't be okay with this deal. I mean, there's no way he's all right with this. And I would not be surprised if after the midterms that he finds a reason to no longer be Secretary of State. I really wouldn't. I think he's going to go through the midterm part. I think J.D. Vance is standing a real chance of having what left of his reputation ruined because he's going to be negotiating along with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. What are we doing? Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff went over there to Switzerland this weekend to start the negotiations. Like, what do you got two real estate guys who thinks everything is transactional versus what, you know, the complexity of these issues are? Why don't we have the A-team over there? I have no idea. So, long story short, what do you guys think? I think that Iran cannot be trusted. All right. I mean, I'm glad that there's a ceasefire in the degree that innocent people aren't being killed anymore. And maybe we can start digging into some of these other questions, like what happened to those 160 schoolgirls that we mistakenly, you know, bombed. Things of that nature need to be sorted out. And of course, there's the Epstein files. So I'm looking forward to getting maybe getting this a little bit to the back burner and exploring those questions. But in the long term, this is a bad deal for America. And this, you think it's going to be ended in 60 days of negotiations. That's a pipe dream, guys. Hope you guys have a good day and a good weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon.